Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting podcast episode with Study in Estonia. This is Pooja here. I am your host, and we have a lovely, handsome guy as my co-host, Artem. And we have wonderful two guests, Sebastian and Annabella. Today, we'll be exploring the topic about what are the steps and crucial things that you should consider after getting accepted in Estonian university and colleges. Before we dig into that topic, let me have a small introduction about our guest, Sebastian.
Thank you very much. My name is Sebastian Reynoso. I'm an integrated engineering student here at TalTech. I have been living here in Estonia for the last 3 years, and this is actually my last semester of studies. I'm currently finishing my thesis in the regards of injection molding machines, and if everything goes well, I'll be able to graduate this semester. I've also partaken in some in an internship last semester in Tallinn's airport, fixing engines, and also participated in some student organizations here in TalTech.
Oh, that's great. We wish you all the best for your year completion this year. Thank you. Annabelle, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's an honor to be here. My name is Annabella, and I am the international admissions specialist of Tallinn University, meaning that I'm taking care of our degree students from before they apply until to the moment that they have arrived. So I'm the one issuing the acceptance letters as well.
Most crucial and most important phase.
Yeah, probably.
Too much task, too much work. But thank you guys for being over to this podcast session of ours. And let's dig down with the one quite interesting question that I have it for Annabelle. So what is the first thing that students should do once they get the acceptance letter from the university?
Well, in case they are a non-EU student, the visa application is probably the most important and the crucial and the most time-consuming process to begin with, meaning that you have to start out planning the appointment because the embassies might not have the vacancies right away. So booking the appointment, sorting out your documents, making sure you submit them yourself as well. Do not use any random mediators from the street, most likely a scam. And
very true.
And yeah, planning out the journey, accommodation, etc., etc.
So I think after the acceptance is the most crucial step is to fix up a visa appointment.
Yeah, because getting an appointment can take time. In case your home country does not have the Estonian representation, you might have to travel to another one. You might need a visa over there. So everything is going to take time.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
It's really nice that you have started already talking about yourself and your experience, but you forgot about my introduction. So I will start with that first. And my name is Artem Melnikov. I'm a student here at TalTech, graduating as well. Have submitted my thesis, waiting for defense, and hopefully will graduate this semester. Also, I'm a representative of Erasmus Student Network of a local section and a president of TalTech IC. This section aims to collaborate with the Mobility Office and provide this support for incoming students. And also we are trying and aiming to establish a system which will enable us to cooperate with Mobility Office even more so that we can, first of all, take care of students who come for Erasmus in Estonia, organize events as we do, and we organize 50 events per semester, as you know. I have talked about it in the first episode. Then we were aiming to collaborate on outgoing students so we can share our experience with them before they're going for Erasmus from Estonia. And then when they return to Estonia from Erasmus, we are also willing to collaborate with them as they may have post-Erasmus depression and may have the willingness to cooperate with us.
That's great. Thank you, Artem.
Yeah.
And this handsome guy is there in our first episode also. Thank you for the introduction. But coming down to Sebastian with the question. So Sebastian, as a student, what was your first reaction or what was your first mood once you got accepted from Estonian University?
I was honestly so excited. If I remember correctly, I got my acceptance letter through email.
Wow.
At the end of April 2022. And it had been after like 3 or 4 months of like having done all the process of application, from like, putting all my documents, doing the exams, the interviews. So it was like honestly a huge relief actually being able to see like, I got into the place that I wanted to apply to. The first thing I did was go tell my mom. It was like, oh my God, I got in. It's a very rewarding feeling, honestly.
I think it's quite proud moment, and then the things start. Okay, now there is the next challenge that I have to do it, fixing visa appointment, getting the documentation process and everything.
It's a moment like where you actually say, this is real. Like I'm going to another country to study.
That's great. That's great.
Well, I'm curious whether you have like someone who were leading you through this all experience and application and stuff, or you were on your own.
I was mostly on my own. To be fair, like for international students, we usually use this platform called Dream Apply. So all of the requirements for like submitting documents and like doing the exam is like very centralized. So you get all the information from a single place. I had some like help, more support from like some university staff, especially like during the interviews and other like stages. But it was mostly on my own. Like the information was clear on platforms, but yeah, everything was done by myself.
So I think the platform was self-readable and everything was very systematically written that what are the next steps that are done from student. But there is one thing which usually after an acceptance letter coming down to Annabelle, what are the common mistakes that a student does it and they should avoid it?
Yeah, well, mostly these like the mistakes are also related to the visa process. So in case, when you have to submit, your bank statement to prove that you have sufficient funds and it has to be certified by your bank, then it has to be stamped and signed by a person authorized to do this process at your bank. And, sorting out the documents, making sure that everything is there the first time, making sure that you actually have the sufficient amount of funds, because if you don't, the visa just will not be issued to you. Also, when you're coming with a spouse or with a dependent, a child, etc., they have their own financial requirements that have to be fulfilled. So I'd say that these are the places that most often are the difficult points or the reasons for the visas to be declined. So not sorting out the documents properly.
So far I understood after the acceptance letter, the visa totally rely on the responsibility of the student and they have to get it done. Yes,
mostly yes, because Tallinn University cannot, or Estonian universities cannot issue visas, so they have to be applied for at an Estonian representation. You have to apply for a type D study visa. You cannot come based on a different type and then start the process for a second visa at Estonia. And we have the migration consultants actually. So they are the
that's great.
Yeah, the people that are working for the Estonian Police and Border Guard Board, and they are absolute experts at what they're doing.
Honestly, I've now that my studies are coming to an end and my TRP is about to expire, I've used their services a couple of times. It's completely free for anybody. Just need to schedule your date, and they're super thorough in their explanations.
Yeah, and you don't have to be when it comes to Estonia, you don't have to be scared about contacting the police or the embassy or anyone. They're not bad people, and they're not going to be angry at you if you have a question. Just feel free to ask it. They're happy to help and advise you.
Yeah, so I think that is a very good system wherein it is placed. So we have a migration officer in regards to when you have to talk about visa. And as you mentioned, they are friendly people. And do they look very tall and handsome? And
at least in my case, I did a Teams meeting. So you can also email them and stuff. But yeah, they're pretty approachable.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
How did the university did for you when you arrived here? Or before?
During my studies, my contact with the university was mostly for the applications. So both the exam and the interview were done with the interview was done with my program director, and then the exam was also done online. Once coming here, the first actual interaction that I had with the university was during the introduction week before the university days actually started. So end of August 2022, and it was mostly for introduction to what are you gonna do, meeting your classmates. We had a small meeting with also again our director to like, oh, this is how you're going to be scheduled and this is how the program works. And the university also offers, this is more open for like all students, like small tours through the library and some of the laboratories to get acquainted with the like buildings and how the layout of the university is.
So you had like a student tours, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, another thing that was done at the beginning was our student ID, like our email and stuff was provided on those first days. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks before the actual class started, so that we had time to like set up all our like accounts, both like in Outlook and in EIS. So that's pretty useful.
But you're coming from so far away. How did you find your community? Well, like, did you manage to? What your hints are?
Right. I guess the introduction weeks actually helped a lot. That was my first like interaction with the people who were going to become my friends through these 3 years. I would say that socializing is very important through like these years. You kind of need like academically speaking, you do need to do well at school and put the effort and try to do. But like having people who support you and like who can like you can laugh, talk through all of those semesters. Definitely helps a lot. And for me, it was just like my program is in English, so there's a lot of international students who are open to talk to and make friends with.
Well, that's great. So you have an international batch and then you have all your people supporting each other. So networking is one key aspect of surviving in Estonia.
Yeah, trying to like socialize in general. I feel like having friends does help a lot.
But coming down to Annabella, so as you are dealing with so many students across the entire globe, you know, different countries, different time zone, different languages, different culture. So how do you manage so much? Like,
well, I worked in international companies before I came to Tallinn University as well, so that has definitely given me like a rather solid foundation in switching between cultural codes. Yeah, well, I'd say that you kind of get used to it at some point, and you understand the market specifics, sort of, at one point, that there are different communication styles with different people. For some people, or like for some cultures, they're requesting more like, you know, sort of hands-on, more personal and tailored like guidance, whereas others are completely independent and they just, you know, maybe have one question throughout the process. It's an individual side, and it also like depends on maybe not that much about the culture also as well, but the person like as they like who they are as an individual. Some people like to communicate more, some just read it online and get the things done, and you just get used to it. It's
but what about the time zone? Like you have to deal with the students who are from such a different time zone. So like,
I wouldn't say it affects us that much. I mean, most of like the majority of the communication takes place through the emails, and well, when it comes to time zones, well, when they want to call us, then they have to adapt to the fact that we are working from 9 to 5 Estonian time. So that's that has caused some problems. I have my work phone directed to my phone, like to my mobile, and usually when I leave work, I block the number. But I have gotten calls like 2:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Oh my God.
Has language like ever been a problem? Because for me, at least, I had to translate a lot of my documents to actually be able to.
Well, it was kind of difficult. Well, I've been here for like more than a year and a half now, but the accents were a bit of a hassle. But these grow onto you as well. So now it doesn't matter anymore. Like from where in the world the call is coming from, I understand what they want.
Yes, I can understand that. But yeah, thank you, Annabella, for this wonderful answer. But coming down to Sebastian, I want to ask you, how was your, like, did you connect it to some groups, some people that after you accepted, or everything was run through the university and you did not have to literally make?
At the beginning of my application?
Yes.
I mostly did it by myself. Again, like the Dream Apply platform was the like connection with the university at the very beginning, but all the process was done by myself. And then when arriving here, we do have some support. I will have to say that our department, like at the engineering department, has a very, very nice counseling department. So whatever problems we have with like papers or like moving credits or like subjects, we can always go there, and they solve it like very easily. They're usually the ones more acquainted with the inner workings of the university, rather than like our program director, who like he does like organization. But if you ever have like a problem with like, oh, I need this fixed for this subject, you usually go to the counseling office. Yeah, it's honestly the most useful.
But I'm just curious, you have been through the whole process. You are now a third year student, so you have been also through the whole studies. So maybe you can highlight some like things where you could do something different, or aspects that students have to focus on that they should avoid, or something like that.
Right. At least for me, I think if I started once again, I would say like try to engage more with like community, like some of the student organizations. Both ESN and BEST like do very well in the terms of like socializing and like getting to know Estonia. But TalTech also has like other student groups. There's a robotics club. There's I think a film and film club. There's other groups that if you have a hobby and you want to keep like learning, there's a lot of like hand projects that you can participate on. And a lot of these like even let you get some opportunities for like traveling. I have a friend who participated in the debate club, and at some point I think they went to Riga for a final. So this way to like get friends, get new experience, write something down in your CV, and just like
absolutely, that helps a lot.
And Tallinn University also has a really active student union, and they are constantly like looking for and welcoming new members and new students as well. So I think it's a universal thing to Estonian universities that they have an active like student community as well, like within the university.
Yeah, it's quite engaging as the new students come down. It is a community wherein you can interact with people, and that's great. But coming down to the one thing which I wanted to ask, like once the student get an acceptance letter, do they get some access to the email, some internal portal, certain documents?
Yes, the answer in general is yes, but that is going to depend on like it can be different from university to university. For example, in Tallinn University, they set up all of their accounts and emails and everything during the orientation week. So the week before the semester actually
begins.
A week before the classes begin. So this is why the participation there is also like extremely important. They have information sessions with their like study counselors. They have information sessions from the migration consultants. We are providing them like with the information on how to set up the accounts. There are also people on campus, like we have points on campus where they can like go to a person who is actually going to help them get that account set up and working. So they're not on their own with that. And if they forgot about it on the first week, then during the second week they're gonna have to send an email, but they will be helped still. So
that's great.
But I'm also curious how the process is about for the minors, for the underage people.
For Tallinn universities, the fact is that we require the parent or the legal guardian to travel to Estonia together with a minor and stay here with them until they turn 18, because it is rather difficult to manage on your own. You cannot enter any agreements alone, and should anything happen, you cannot make your own medical decisions by yourself. So it's difficult if you cannot sign your own study agreement. Even you came here to study and you're legally not authorized to sign it. So
particularly for the bachelor students or maybe secondary students are very important that they have to travel along with their parents. But
great. Also I could highlight something else from my personal life, because I was underage and I was like 4 days after I turned 17 and I just arrived to Estonia. It was a wonderful experience, and someone knocked to my door and said, okay, so, and that was a person from the administration, I think the childcare or something, and they said, Artem, you are here alone. We understand your situation, but you have to go with us to the place where they there is I wouldn't call it an orphanage, but it's
pretty close.
It's something close, yes. So they said me that, and I was okay. I didn't have any choice. I packed my stuff. They called me, we don't have place for you today. We come tomorrow. And the next day, so that's this tomorrow, I had an appointment for the green card, for the bus card with the administrative representative, because yes, I could not even get a green card there, and I could not even open a bank account. And the next day I arrived to that place, and there was a beautiful person, Kati. We're still in touch, and I invited her to graduation. She helped me a lot through all my stay here, and she became my custodian, let's say, or guardian, right? So she resolved the situation with orphanage, and I didn't have to go anywhere. But at the same time, I know that there is a case where you actually have an opportunity through the court to make a decision that you actually can act as a 18-year-old person, and was made for me. Anyway, that's not helpful at all. Even with this decision, when you have the rights to do everything and decide everything you want, you cannot open the bank account, you cannot use Smart ID just because the IT system is not provided for that.
Yeah, and I think the situation for you was a bit different as well than it is, compared to a traditional, traditional bachelor study. So it's a different case. So
yeah, I think every case is different, and but if you have a way out to just talk to people and understand that how you can make the process very simpler, so then everything is available for you. So whether you are a minor or whether you have an embassy which is outside your country, at last you can get things done. So, but coming down to one thing, what are the things that have been, or what are the innovations that have come down into the admission process? Like, have you seen any changes in admission process?
You mean like from our side or from from our side? Or we've gone during the past 5 years, we've gone through a revolution. So all of the documents are now sent digitally. That sort of started happening from 2019, but before that, we still accepted, paper documents. Now everything is on Dream Apply. All the documents is sent, and they have to be properly scanned. This is a major thing that people often miss. That the scanner is the old-fashioned copy machine. You open the lid, you put your document there, you close the lid, and you take a scan. So you can't take a blurry picture with cam scanner or your phone. So but this is how it can work when you submit clear scans in color and in correct format. So we've made the process easier for the candidate a lot. Since you don't have to. Well, depending on the country, after conditional acceptance, you still might need to send copies from of your documents as well. But generally, during the application procedure itself, for submitting the application, there's tasks on Dream Apply that we have set up that literally do not let you forget anything. You cannot forget to upload your the proof of a language proficiency, because you have to take a box that I have done it now. So
that was honestly very useful when applying. What you mentioned about the conditional application, I did have to send some documents afterwards, but everything before that was completely online.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think there are certain things like mandatory, if I remember, maybe I might be pronouncing it wrong, like the apostille document has to be done for the, the transcript document has to be done for the mark sheets and everything, which is quite, because some universities take month or 2 months to provide that. And I think there is also a process of checking ENIC, ENRIC.
Yeah,
so can you, if you can just brief it, what is that process is like?
Well, regarding the apostilles, it's up to the university to decide. Also, it's sometimes, cooperated or following the guidelines by the ENIC NARIC Center. What they do, they are the Academic Recognition Information Center.
Oh, okay.
So they are the institution responsible for evaluating academic equivalence of a foreign qualification within Estonian education system.
Wow.
So, when you, for example, I haven't evaluated too many of Mexican education, so I have practically no market specific knowledge. So I cannot decide myself whether this university was accredited, whether this program that the candidate has studied was accredited, whether these were actually the requirements to be completed to earn this degree, etc., things like that. So this is what the ENIC NARIC Center is helping us out with.
Because I remember once I had applied for the university, I was given by the ENIC and there is a waiting period of around about 40 to 45 days. And but it was very good because you are evaluating, understanding what your credential were back in your country and whether Estonian accept that same credential over
exactly.
it. So.
It protects the university so that, in case you have not fulfilled the requirements or your previous education does not give access to next level of higher education in Estonia. So we will our academic value will remain, but it also will protect the candidate because or the student because if we accept you and you actually wasn't eligible to receive that degree, and then they discover it when you're applying for a PhD, and then it turns out that you don't even have a bachelor's.
Oh,
well,
that's
then
true.
like your entire life can be ruined. So waiting a month to receive like the evaluation document
Yeah,
sounds
makes
way more
sense.
better
Yeah.
than spending 5 years or 7 or even more than only to receive, only to find out that you know
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. Yeah.
nothing.
Yes.
Damn.
So, coming down to this, thank you for sharing this thing. But coming down to Sebastian, do you think there is one mistake that you could have avoided after your acceptance letter? Like,
I don't know. I was very nervous, honestly, about all the documents that I was going to need to bring.
yes.
So I went over the lists both provided like in the reply, and also like there are some compiled in the police department and migration advisors webpage, and I just like went through it and read it 20 times, and I had to translate a lot of documents as well, because for apostilles, both and notarizing and for the TRP process, all the documents needed to be in a common language, so English is usually the one chosen for. So that took a lot of time. I'd say in general, just prepare and like read again all the requirements that you need. For the application process also, I think at some point you mentioned that there was like a big window for scheduling appointments in the...
Yeah, it depends. There's the appointments might not be available for like right away.
So also that being able, because they usually, there's like, 2 months, like you sign up right now and then closest one is like 2 months from the time that you apply. So just considering that it's,
Wow. That's
important.
true. That's true. But yeah, coming down, sharing my experience also, I remember a visa appointment was one of the crucial thing, because you have to continuously check whether you have the visa appointment available or not once the acceptance is there. So I have to continuously go to the website and check what is the available date and fix up the visa appointment. So I think that is the most crucial step that a student has to consider it out. But do you want to share something wherein there is one process that you think can be better into an admission process in Estonia?
Oh, that's a good question. I think there are a lot of things within the process that can be improved. For example, during like in my everyday job, I'm constantly taking notes of, I could do this better. I saw a different university outside of Estonia do like the similar thing like that. Maybe we could like do something similar, or like prepare the like the arrival of the student better. I don't know, like to me it seems that, like as you said as well, that the application procedure itself is rather clear. You open a website, there's written that you need to submit these documents, then you go to application portal and you submit them.
Honestly, compared to other countries, very straightforward. It's super smooth.
Yeah, but like regarding the because me and my team at Tallinn University are currently working on the topics that, to make the finding accommodation easier, more clear, to make like the arrival, we can't really put the visa process, we can't make a tutorial on how to apply for a visa, because, the requirements can change, everything can change, and, we might just, it can outdate super fast, but just to make the general support better. We are supporting our students a lot. We have career counselor available. We have free psychological help. But yeah, so.
But now you mentioned one very interesting thing about accommodation. Do university help students once they are accepted in providing or guiding them how they can apply for accommodation?
Yeah, I'd say yes. We have Tallinn University has 3 dormitories. Majority of our international students are staying in Karu, which is the closest to our campus, and there are also dedicated spots for international students. They can also apply for the 2 other. But this is like the application periods are a bit different, so the dedicated places open a bit earlier, and then we're working on to make that process smoother as well. But in case the student is looking for a private accommodation, we have links on our website of the recognized real estate portals where you can rent an apartment. In case that we can't give legal advice on whether the rental agreement that they are being shown or presented to or asked to sign, but we can give them advice from the humanly perspective that usually if you go there, meet up with the landlord, they seem kind of a sketchy person, and then they give you a document that is written in red green, pink, and blue, and it's all Comic Sans, then that's probably not an authentic document, and it's probably a fraud, and you will never see your money again. But so we are giving advice.
But
on
I've
topics like
rarely
these.
heard anything wherein we have faced any kind of a problem with regard to fraud of accommodation and everything. And of course, as you mentioned, various universities have this updated list about the hostels, which are the private and which are the university accommodated, because my university did not have a dormitory, so then I had to look like accommodation for myself. And trust me, once I landed to Estonia, I got my accommodation within 5 days. So it is there. But very, very important question is, once you get accepted into the university, how is the tuition fees transaction happened? It is like, it is quite easy. Is it like some countries have still problem, or like any student has to particularly look into the gateway of transferring the money?
Well, for Tallinn University, for our non-EU candidates, they have to prepay the first semester's tuition fee before they even receive the acceptance letter.
Ah, okay.
So this is also like an extra confirmation from us to, sort of like the embassies that we are kind of making sure that the student has the required funds to come and study. So they pay the first semester in full amount, and then they later on, once they have arrived, they agree on a payment plan with their study counselor, and then they will take it from there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yes. So I think we have maximally covered maximum topic about it, but still I have one last question to, in fact, all three of you.
Okay.
Okay. What are the three important things, I will say three important words rather, to keep in mind once you get accepted in Estonian university? Just the three words that you can say, like fast, reliable, or whatever. It's like, it has to be rapid fire, and you have to just tell me the three words that comes to your mind once you are accepted by Tallinn, accepted by Estonian university. Sebastian.
I'd say it is very comprehensive. It's also very exciting, and it's slightly scary to start a new life somewhere else.
It's like this,
Yeah, it's honestly a swing of everything.
Yes.
Well, I would say plan, then double check,
Wow.
and then you can enjoy the ride.
Oh my gosh,
that's
plan,
pretty
double
good.
check, and then enjoy the ride. I like that. That's great. What do you say, Artem?
To me, it's also exciting. But remember, be efficient and don't stress too much.
Oh, that's great. Don't stress too much. The process is simple and everything is there. And in case if you get stuck, we are here as a student ambassador with Study in Estonia. Please write to us in case if you face any problem with anything related to your admission procedure over here in Estonia. You can follow us on our Instagram page, and looking forward to all the viewer to come back again and see our next podcast session. But before that, thank you, Sebastian and Annabella, to be here, to sharing your knowledge with us and all our viewer about the acceptance process in Estonia. Thank you, everyone. Have
Thank
a
you
good
for having
day.
us.
Have a good day.
Thank you.